Hello, my name is Julie Fisher, and I'm here today to tell you a little bit more about the process behind transcribing the early APS meeting minutes. From its inception, whenever members of the American Philosophical Society met, they kept records or minutes of their meetings. My task for the CARES grant was rather straightforward, and that was to create a transcription of the second volume of these meeting minutes. And this is the volume spanning from 1774 through 1787. By providing this transcription, in addition to the digital images, we're hoping to provide better access to readers, researchers, educators, any interested party who want to learn more about the American Philosophical Society, about Philadelphia during the Age of Revolution, as well as the early Republic, history of science. All that is captured in these volumes. So to do this, I began by making use of what already was available at APS, and that are these beautiful high-resolution scans of the manuscript volumes. There's actually a total of 12, and these scans were made possible by the hard work of Bayard Miller and Joe DeLula here at APS. So for this project, in conversation with Cynthia Hyder and postdoctoral fellow Bethany Farrell, we crafted a semi-diplomatic style. And what do I mean by semi-diplomatic transcription style? This means we made some editorial interventions, but did try to limit them. So limited in some ways, less so in others. So what this meant is that, for instance, we retained original spellings, but we did not duplicate spacing. We retained line breaks. This would allow someone who is going through the image to see a line, be able to compare line by line the transcript and in that. We also dropped down superscript letters. At the same time, we also dropped down interlinear insertions or just single word insertions, but we didn't try to capture the unique letter forms, such as the long S, still very much used in these meeting minutes. And we did this for a variety of reasons. One is that we wanted to create a very accessible editorial style, not only for researchers, but also for, hopefully, this could be a good beginning template to extend this project to transcribe further volumes. So, and if you want to learn more about these editorial decisions, especially some of the more specifics, you can go to the website where I talk about this editorial approach. So, as with all transcription projects, a transcription benefits from having more than one set of eyes. Ideally, you want 3, and we were actually able to achieve that with this project. So this began with me taking the first pass at transcription. So this was me typing out every line. After I was done, the next person to bring their keen eye was Angela Vasello, and she is a museum guide at APS. And finally, APS's library, David Gary, came for a third editorial set of eyes as well. And hopefully together that has produced probably what is still not a perfect transcription, but is a very sound transcription. So what does a finished transcript look like? It looks like something that you see on the screen here. You can see that line by line, there's no spaces in between. It's all left justified. Remember, we're not creating indents, but very clear, definitely more clear to read than the handwriting sometimes. So now that is available. So also, I want to take a moment here to talk about also why we undertook this project. And that is because maybe if you're interested in the early meeting minutes, you may be familiar with this publication published in 1884. This is the early proceedings of the American Philosophical Society, drawn from these same manuscript volumes. And this actually covered up through the minutes in 1838. And maybe you're looking at this and you think for a moment, if you have this published version and you have the digital versions, why this new transcript? And so I think this is a great moment to kind of reflect on transcription projects and any sort of edited papers projects. They all exist to create access to the content. And however, not all transcription projects are created the same. And this is not to say that some are better or worse, just that projects have different goals and different audiences in mind. And this will influence what their published editions look like. So if you read more than, again, this is just an image to show these two, the edited edition and the manuscript side by side. If you look into the edited edition, you'll see that the editors undertook this work. They talk in the beginning to provide a lively satisfaction to members, and to even more simply, they wanted to preserve the minutes in case a natural disaster destroyed the originals. Absolutely valid and important concerns. So with these goals in mind, what they created was something they called a condensed copy. And it is just what it sounds like. It's a capsule description of what transpired at the meetings. And this is a visual up on the screen of what that looks like. And so what these condensed copies can tell you though, right, is what editors over time, what they consider useful knowledge, what they think is worth capturing, and what is less useful. And that changes over time. So let me give you maybe a more in-depth look or a sneak peek of what you'll find if you go and make the comparisons. I've saved you the trouble. So again, on the left, what you see here is a manuscript version of the meeting on February 27th, 1786. And then you see the condensed copy on the right. Now, obviously I'm not asking you to read these, but you can quickly see by glancing at them that one has more detail than the other. Specifically, what I want to point out, and this is just the most obvious, and this is something that you'll see as a recurring choice in almost all the meeting minutes here, the condensed copy does not record the names of the members who attended. So I'm sure there's more decisions that careful work will reveal that will reflect more on what editors in the 1880s found useful, but would differ than today what we find useful. So the APS Minutes Transcription Project has benefited from the time, expertise, and knowledge of many, and I just want to reference them now. Angela Vasello, Cynthia Hyder, Bethany Farrell, Bernard Bayard Miller, Jeff Applehans, Michael Madeha, Ali Rosman, Marvin Walters, and David Gary. They have all contributed to this project because none of this is just, could be the work of a single individual. So I hope people find the content helpful and intriguing, and I hope it opens up new questions about the history at APS and the early Republic and the Age of Revolution in Philadelphia and Benjamin Franklin's Enlightenment and anything else related here. I look forward to see what those future findings are. Thank you.